Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
But do not smear a competent professional woman like Karoline Leavitt with your nonsense, and don't lie about this being her first job. We know what you're doing there.
When you got fired from The View.
Oh, it's the best thing.
Yeah.
I got fired. I got fired from teaching.
Yeah.
They didn't renew my contract.
We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation.
Joy Behar is allegedly facing a defamation lawsuit and getting fired from The View after she and the other hosts questioned Karoline Leavitt's credentials and acted like she didn't deserve the job.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Whatever I'm saying, this is the first time that she's been she may be. But my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I just wanted
us.
to clarify that.
Yeah.
The same people who preach feminism and complain about women being judged on their looks just did the exact same thing. It's almost like their idea of feminism only applies to women who follow their views.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
That's straight up gaslighting. Whoopi's acting like Leavitt only got the job because of some activist push for diversity, completely ignoring her experience.
Kosha, particularly that last clip that we played, it was so condescending. The way that she was scolding her as if she was a schoolgirl, suggesting she needed to do her homework. I find it so hypocritical when these so-called, caring, progressive voices just turn so nasty like that.
They did the same thing to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Kayleigh McEnany, Kellyanne Conway, the list goes on. Every time a strong conservative woman steps up, they act like it's their job to destroy their credibility.
No, Whoopi. Corinne Jean-Pierre got the job because of wokeness. You and your old mate Joy Behar may have your jobs because of wokeness, but do not smear a competent professional woman like Karoline Leavitt with your nonsense, and don't lie about this being her first job. We know what you're doing there.
This is the person who they said got her job based on her looks.
How well you can do your job, and the American people agree with that sentiment. So it's about competence, skill, and merit. And so the president is focused on ensuring that the most competent individuals, the best and the brightest in this country, are in positions in this federal government, especially when it comes to public safety. Can't overemphasize the importance of those jobs.
She has been holding media reps accountable in press briefings and handling things the right way.
And guess what? She doesn't need 3 big binders to come up with the answer.
Can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws, and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
The View had no real reason to go after Karoline like that, unless it was pure jealousy.
No nonsense, straight to the point, courage, detail. By the way, I think the way that she answered is a lesson that many Liberal MPs could learn, faced by ABC journalists or whatever, although I have to give Peter Dutton huge credit. He does give it right back as well.
While they were busy hating, a lot of people recognized her talent, and she has become more popular than ever, while Joy Behar might soon be out of a job.
I love my job. I'm so honored and humbled to be the press secretary for President Trump, who, as you said, truly is the most dynamic president in our lifetimes. And it's such a blessing every day when I show up to this place, the beautiful White House, to work. I just thank God for the opportunity. We are fundamentally transforming our country for the better.
There's a clear difference in how she addresses people and responds to them compared to the women on The View. They speak about her with hostility and negativity, like that time she got interrupted on CNN.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time. That was so good. So good.
There is obvious animosity, They build their show around negativity toward anyone who doesn't agree with their woke agenda.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help because voters are going to re-elect President Trump back to the White House very soon because voters see these trials that are being brought forward against President Trump for what they are.
And she wasn't wrong. He got back into office despite their constant attempts to turn the public against him.
I always wonder what they give these women who are like spokespeople for him, because like Kellyanne Conway and this woman, they can go for so long without taking a breath. It's rather impressive. They really should be like doing synchronized swimming or something in the Olympics.
They freely make negative comments and tear down anyone who isn't on their side. But Karoline had enough. Reports are now coming in that she's allegedly fighting back and suing Joy Behar.
And you would think, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit, would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View.
They didn't get the memo and might have landed themselves in deeper trouble. There are rumors that ABC is allegedly firing Joy Behar, and in a recent interview, she didn't seem to have any remorse for the comments or actions directed at Karoline or anyone else they've targeted on the show.
It's like when you got fired from The View.
Oh, it's the best thing.
Yeah.
I got fired. I got fired from teaching.
Yeah.
They didn't renew my contract in Rhode Island one time. And then I worked in Long Island. I got pregnant that time. And then another time I was fired from Good Morning America. I was fired from this show. I've been fired a lot.
Yeah.
And every single time I was fired, I did something more interesting.
This says everything about Joy Behar's attitude. She doesn't seem concerned about the rumors of being fired, if anything. She's almost bragging about it. It's like she sees every time she gets fired as just another step up rather than a consequence of her actions.
That's right. There is so much good news, so much winning out of the Trump White House right now that the mainstream legacy media can't keep up with it because President Trump is signing executive order after executive order, delivering on promise after promise, and implementing fundamental change of our bloated bureaucracy and our corrupt government here in Washington, D.C.
Instead of focusing on issues that actually help the country, the hosts choose to nitpick on things that don't matter.
Women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
While Whoopi credits woke culture for their success, Karoline shared how she actually earned her position.
So Trump 1.0 started as an intern and then was offered a full-time job, which led me to working in the press office under Kayleigh McEnany, who was my old boss and remains a very good friend to this day. And then went back home and actually ran for office. I briefly worked for Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who will soon be our United Nations ambassador.
Through it all, there was no sign that wokeness or her looks had anything to do with how she got to where she is.
And she has a PAC that supports and encourages women to run for office. And I had a conversation with her about being in New Hampshire and the district that I was from, and really sparked my interest to run myself. So I went back home and kicked off a congressional campaign, which was an amazing experience.
This shows how the left-wing media is stuck in their head. Whether Joy is really getting sued or not, one thing is for sure, the ladies on The View will keep attacking anyone who doesn't agree with them.